If you guys only knew the chaos that as we try to get this ready, it's pretty exciting.
It's also really hot.
Yeah.
But that's not going to stop us, guys.
No,
we're going to give you a live stream no matter what.
Yes. Come hell or high water, we're going to be live streaming. In today's episode, we're going to talk about some dog agility training, and Kayl's going to talk specifically about predicting challenges and creating success for your dog. Maybe you can give everybody just a brief overview of what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
Today.
So one of my favorite things to do when it comes to agility training is applying my dog training knowledge to my agility training so that I can get the best out of my dog that I can. And one of the things that I really focus on when I'm trying to develop a new dog or just train any dog really, is to, enhance my skills, work on challenging things, but I want to do it in a way that I'm boosting my dog's confidence, I'm boosting my confidence as well, and just building on success. Anything great is always built on things successfully. So tonight or this week for my weekly classes, I have a really challenging course set up. It's an international challenge course, and it is designed by a very reputable judge from Hungary named Tomas Try. And it is a doozy. It's so fun. It's been fabulous.
It's a doozy.
It's a doozy. Now, I've just been coaching my students on it. I have not yet done it myself. And I wanted to train my young dog on the course. So my plan is to kind of predict some of the challenges that I foresee her having, and then go through those challenges, break them down, and sort them out before I put them together. And what a lot of people do is they step up to a challenge and they sort of just go to the start line and say, well, let's just see what happens. And sometimes that's an okay thing to do. But what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to predict the possible challenges she's going to have, and then I'm going to go and work through those challenges so that I'm setting her up to be successful, and then I'm going to try and put it together. And I really like to train this way when I'm developing a new dog because it builds their skill way faster because they're doing things right more than they're doing things wrong. And it also allows you to get way further ahead with your dog in way less time. So we really try to do not too many reps if we can, because the agility is quite hard on the dogs. Physically, it's very demanding. So I want to try and cut down my reps, but I also want to raise my success. So I've had to figure out how to train in a way that I can do that successfully.
So with no further ado, in today's episode, we're going to talk about some dog agility training, predicting challenges, and creating success. I'm Ken Steepe.
I'm Kayl McCann.
Welcome back to McCann Dogs. As I mentioned, it is busy, but once we're here, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see everybody jumping in the chat. Now, if you have clicked this link from Facebook, definitely close out of Facebook. Come on over to YouTube. Search for McCann Dogs. Even when you think you're out of Facebook, they're still holding you hostage in there.
Are.
But you won't be able to join the chat, and that's really, we do these train stations or the after hours agility for you, so you can ask your dog agility training
We can see you guys in there already.
Yeah, so there's lots of people that have jumped on with us, but make sure you're over in YouTube so that you have access to the chat. Now, something that we love to do, I always enjoy doing, and maybe, Kayl, I'm going to get you to hit that button in just a moment.
Okay.
We always like to go live to Dan.
I have no idea.
Dan, the moderator man. We always go live in our live shot, and today,
now I do know.
We may have seen this. There he is. Dan, the moderator man, has joined us once again.
A long, awkward pause.
On the other side of the table.
Yes, on the other side of the table today.
Do I press it again?
No, just press this one.
Okay.
I got it. So Dan joined us last week in the train station, and I don't have a whistle. That would have been the perfect time to drop a toot toot. But today he is joining us here, so he is in the chat with you as well. If you have questions, he might be able to help you out with some links. But I think it's what I'm really interested in, and somebody's jumping in with it already. I would really like to know, and it's not just the fact that I'd like to know this, but I also like rolling this animation. I want to know where you're joining us from. You'll notice that this one doesn't have a train. It also doesn't have train sounds, but I am wearing a conductor's hat just to maintain some continuity.
Why aren't you wearing a train? Why aren't you riding a train there?
I thought we needed a different one for the after hours agility.
Oh, you know what? You should be running along the dog walk.
I thought about that. I just didn't have the asset. Like I didn't have a thing of me. But it's a great idea. Great idea. But let's jump in to the
Gone to the Snow Dogs is here.
Oh, hey Jess.
Hi.
Haven't seen you guys in a long time. Yeah, thanks for jumping in on our live stream. Today we're going to talk about some let's talk about the course that you have.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about what you were about to train. I'm going to turn this light down because I'm literally getting a sunburn, I think. Well, maybe not literally.
You could use a little sun. Yes, tonight I'm going to be working through a really challenging course with actually 2 dogs. So for those of you who watch the live stream or follow me, you may know that I am currently running and training a very young border collie named Beeline. And I've had a lot of dogs in my life, but right now I only have one to train, which is very peculiar for me. She's pretty cool, and I am absolutely head over heels for her. So I'm going to do a little bit of training with her. She's very young. She's very inexperienced. However, she's getting to have some mad skills, so hopefully she'll do well. But just recently, my mother actually made the suggestion that maybe I should start running her dog as well as my dog. Her dog's name is Purple, and it happens to be Beeline's mom. So I have Purple and Beeline here tonight. Now, strangely enough, Purple's older than Bee, but I think Purple actually has less skill than Bee in some senses, and certainly we don't have much teamwork yet. So we can do some things together great, and then other things could be a total disaster. So I think that this should be a great demonstration tonight, because I'm going to have to really break things down and help things. But that's the purpose of tonight's training session, is I wanted to talk to you guys and show you about how to make your training sessions in agility more efficient when you're working maybe more challenging things, to set your dog up for success, so that you're doing more repetitions of the dog doing it correctly than trying something and having it fail, trying something, having it fail, and repeating that, because that frustrates the dog often, and it frustrates you as well. So I really want you to change your brain, really think about how you're setting your training sessions up so that you're powering through challenges, but you're doing it successfully.
Yeah, and we're going to take a real deep dive into some of that.
We're going to dive deep.
Before we get onto that, I want to mention that people are joining us, and I love seeing where everybody is jumping in from. I see Wisconsin, Illinois, Maryland, Michigan, and love watching you. Thank you, Debbie Bart. Durham, North Carolina. C. Ellis says the middle of nowhere, California. Ohio, Nova Scotia, Michigan proud, but you already know that. That's our friend Jess from Gone to the Snow Dogs, or maybe it's Jess and Jamie from Gone to the Snow Dogs. Definitely check their channel out if you guys are husky lovers. I see Crystal, the animal lover, says from Canada. Chris Stanley watching from Virginia. I see Vacaville, California, Colorado, Southern California, Winterville, Georgia, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the list goes on. Joanne's joining us from Ottawa today. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into some dog agility. That's what you guys are here for, and that's what we're going to teach today.
Okay, well, I'm going to, the course is quite long and quite challenging, so I'm going to break it up into 4 sections. I'm going to show you 2 sections with Purple and 2 sections with Bee. I think what I'll do is show you possible mistakes that I think might happen, and then I'm going to try and work through them a little bit the best that I can. And I'm going to try to explain what I'm doing and train at the same time, but I'm hoping that my wonderful husband here will fill in some of the blanks so that I don't have to multitask quite so much.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I get a multitasking. I wear many hats. I'll be a cameraman. I'll be try to monitor the live stream. Kayla, are you going to get Beeline first?
I'm going to use Purple first.
Okay. I'd love to know, for those of you in the chat, have you done agility? Do you guys do agility? I know I've seen some vlogs from Jess's channel from Gone to the Snow Dogs that she does some agility with her dogs. But is anybody else? I think Crystal, the animal lover, may also be in agility. May have competed or done some agility, but I'd love to know if you guys at home have done any agility yourselves. This is something that we love. We love teaching our dogs the foundations in our obedience training facility, and then right across the parking lot is our beautiful agility training facility, and we love being able to bring them over here, exercise their brains and their bodies. And you're going to see, Kayla can get pretty finite, but she can also, we have classes from level 1, which is the very beginning of agility, all the way up to international handling. So Kayla's exercises can sort of span a great deal of different levels. So whatever level you are, there's going to be some great information here for you. Are you ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, and this is Purple.
Yep. So,
okay, let's go over to camera 2. This is usually where I say heading over to the train station and I toot, but no tooting today.
Wait. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Purple. She is 5 years old, and she belongs to my mom. She knows me well, but my mom is sitting off camera right now, and this dog is not usually used to working with me, We literally just came up with this idea like a week or so ago, so this is the first time I'm actually training her, so what better way to do it than on live stream, right? Anyways, so she could want to go to my mom a little bit, but we'll just work through that if that's the case. So we're going to sort of be working in this section of the course right here. The opening of the course is going to be a challenge, but I think she can handle that. Where I think she's going to have trouble is over here on this pink jump. And what's going to happen is she's going to come out of this purple tunnel. She's going to have to take the back of the pink jump and then go beyond to the wall jump way up in the corner there. What you might not be able to see on camera is there is another tunnel right here facing the opening of this one. So she needs to move with me instead of going off course. And then I have to somehow get her to the back of the pink jump and then get her to not go into the weave poles before I go. So that's going to be hard. So I'm actually just going to warm that section up, and this is what I do. I look at the course, I predict possible problems, and then I go through and I work that particular section and then back chain my way into putting it into an actual sequence or course. So I'm going to get started over here. So I'm going to put her sit in a place where she would be if she was coming out of the tunnel. Wait. Get back. Yes! Good girl! Woohoo! Here. You can see. Good girl. Okay, I'm going to try it one more time. Out. Sit. Wait. Okay. Get back. Yeah. Oops. So, my dogs aren't allowed to knock bars. So if he knocks the bar, I'm just going to give her a little oops. I'm not going to give her the toy. Ready? Get back. Yay! That's better. Good girl. Okay. So I warmed that up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the opening of the course to that section, and if she's successful on that section, I'm going to reward her. Okay, are you ready? Ho. Here. Are you ready? Sit. Wait. Good girl. Wait. Okay. Oh! I was late. Get back. Yes! Good girl. So that was my fault. That was not my dog's fault. So I'm going to just break it down and try it again. Good girl. Out. Sit. Wait. Tunnel. Get back. Yay! That's better. Good girl. Yes. Good. Okay.
Are you going back there again? Are you going to that side?
What?
Are you going
Yeah.
to that position? I can move the camera a little bit maybe, so you can see a little bit better.
Good girlie. All right, I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to save time by not going back to the beginning. Ready?
Okay, I think we're a little bit closer to the action now.
Sit. Wait, see if I can get it on the first try. Oh, I didn't see the knock button. Oopsie. Sit, young lady. Sit. Good girl. Wait. Okay. Go hop. Tunnel. Get back. Yay! Good girl!
Quite a big celebration.
Yay! Good girl! Eat it. So that was really good. She did that super independently. Yes. Nice. Okay, so that's the first challenge. Do you want to take a break or do you want to go on to the second one?
We'll go on to the second one, we can sit down.
So the second one is out of this tunnel. She's got to take the back side of that yellow jump further away from us, the front side of this yellow one, and then to the A-frame. What I suspect she's going to do is come out of the tunnel and take the wrong jump. So I'm just going to warm up by getting her to go to the successful jump first, and then I'm going to move on. All right, ready? Good girl. Out. Here. Sit. Wait. So she's not supposed to take this one. She's supposed to take this one. So I'm just going to help her. Okay. Yes. Good girl. And again, I'm starting without a lot of speed. And that's so that it's easier for her to cue on me and not get so distracted by the obstacles. So now I'm going to add a little bit more speed. Get up, tunnel. Yes, good girl. Beautiful. Okay, now it's really important that she commits to that jump because I actually have to get to the A-frame and switch sides, and the only way I'm going to do that successfully without getting taken out is if she commits to that jump independent of me. Now this course you're supposed to come from the teeter-totter, but because it's a bit awkward for you to see, I'm just starting from the tunnel to make it better for the video. All right, miss. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here. Sit. Sit. Wait. Wait. Where am I going? Tunnel! Move, 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 move. Hurry up! Hurry! Yes! Beautiful! Beautiful! Yay! So now that I've done those 2 hard sections, the next thing I would do is try to put all of that together and see if I can run it successfully. Good girl. Okay, when we will do that, we'll take a break because I need a drink and to get some air. Okay, Lily. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it. Up, sit. Sit, wait. You also don't want to work your dog too long too, otherwise they'll get too hot. So I am going to take the teeter-totter just so that it makes sense, hun. But you might not be able to see. Hold on, my bun's loose. You can't run with a loose bun.
Yeah, or loose buns.
Or loose buns, that's true. Wait.
Don't you actually have that t-shirt, no runs with loose buns?
I should have it, yeah. Okay. Whoa!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you. Missy, move. Sit. Sit. Don't guess. I will show you. I will show you. Good girl. Okay, perfect. Go hop. Hop, hop, tunnel. Hop. Get back, get back, get back. Yes.
Good girl.
Hop. Here. Target. Okay, tunnel. Move, 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 move. Oh my God, hop. Hurry, run. Yay! Good girl. Yay! I knocked a bar.
Oh, you did? I didn't even see it.
Up here.
Oh.
I was in her way.
Great. Okay,
It's kind of my fault. Okay.
let's talk about breaking.
Cam needs air.
Yeah, let's talk about how you broke that
Cam
down.
can talk now.
What you did.
Yes, I need to get my dog a drink. Yes.
Okay. Here in the after hours agility. I see Wisconsin bound said that is amazing. I have to agree with you. Even I'm quite impressed when I come in here and I see Kayl training some of these dogs. I did agility for a short period of time, but seeing Kayl handle, even when it's her mom's dog, Deb McCann's dog, is a thing of beauty. I wanted to say a big hello to my friend David Foster from Impartial Geek. I was just trying to get the thing. He says yay. Thanks for joining us, David. Actually, David and Luria both basically helped me put this together for you guys with their Create Live program. So they're really, really amazing. And I need to say a huge thank you to them. Chris Stanley says, can you teach this to a deaf dog? I just found out that my 11-week-old puppy is deaf. In fact, you can teach a lot of this because a lot of the cues are physical, body position, motion, speed, position, all those things are super important. And we actually have a trainer with a deaf dog who is like a 4, maybe 5-time world champion in disc dog, but she also runs some agility with him with Thorpe. Yeah, someone was just asking if you could run it with a deaf dog. So you absolutely can. So let's see, what do we have for agility questions?
That course is a gas guzzler, guys.
Carly Miller says, what age can I start with my dog?
Start agility?
Yeah.
That's the loaded question.
Yeah.
Now, we start, it depends what kind of agility you're talking about. So we start foundational skills right from when they're a puppy. But all of that foundation skills do not involve any of the obstacles of equipment. It's all basic training on skills that I know are going to help me in the future. Things such as focusing, their response to name, retrieving, holding a sit and a wait, listening around distractions, being quiet while they watch other dogs, all kinds of foundational type of exercises, body awareness, problem solving exercises, shaping exercise, all those types of things. And we do that when they're very, very young. My dogs don't really get on any equipment, and it would be low, like planks or tunnels or things like that, probably until they're like, I don't know, 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
Again, very basic. They're not really doing any actual agility until they're probably well over a year, I would say, would be the norm.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to put an age on it because it really just depends on your dog training ability. It depends on your, bond with your dog and how well your listening skills are going. There's a lot that goes into it. Dogs aren't actually allowed to compete until they're a year and a half old. Most dogs aren't anywhere near are ready to be running in that long because there's just so much to train them. Bee's 2.5, and I would say she's just starting to get to the point where she's competing and doing well, but I'm a pretty experienced person, so it went a little bit faster, but yeah.
Shani Blake says, Kayl is the best at being excited. I have to agree with you. A lot of the dogs get really excited. Even if you're at home watching, you'll see like the dogs go. We often hear people hear Kayl training on the train station or on the YouTube channel, and they're like, my dog was so excited when they hear you. I think it's so funny when people say that because I mean, it's just normal for me to train like this. It's just how I am. I didn't really figure out that was anything unique until I started teaching a lot more and realized that it was something that I actually had to teach other people to do. And the moment I would teach them how to be just a little bit more engaging, with their dog, like their dog's speed would increase and attitude would increase. My dogs already, I usually deal with dogs that are very high and energetic already, but I just try to bring as much out of them as I possibly can. And it just makes training more fun. And I've also dealt with dogs. I've had several dogs that were not that motivated, that were lacking confidence. And you have to learn how to bring out every ounce of excitement out of them using, your body language and your voice and all that stuff. Yeah, I like this question from Erica Brock. Oh my God, I'm sweating so much. She says, do you find all dogs automatically respond to tunnel breaks, or is Purple trained on that? I assume that was your verbal going in. All dogs respond to tunnel breaks just automatically. It's a natural cue that dogs will do. It just has to do with like your ability to do them and the time in which you do that. However, we reward our dogs a lot for the types of turn that they get out of the tunnel and that type of thing. But it's a very natural cue. You don't have to do a lot of training for it. And then Erica also asked, would you ordinarily mark that bar during your sequence or keep going? I would mark it. Yeah, you just missed that one. Yeah, she, thanks. She knocked that bar in the opening, and because we were filming and I didn't want to kind of stop, I didn't go back. But normally, it depends on the dog, though, I should say. These dogs that I'm running are very high-minded, and they're if they knock the bar and I get after them for that and then I repeat, it's not going to diminish their drive or it's not going to upset them. We've really built them to understand that it's okay to make a mistake and, you just move on from that. If you're dealing with a dog that's a little bit more sensitive, then I might be a little bit more apprehensive to stop the dog and then restart, because some dogs will lose all of their drive and all of their momentum, and they'll sort of get crushed by that. So it is sort of dog dependent. For these dogs, I would stop them and restart. And I don't get mad or anything. I just stop, the game ends, we correct the mistake, we play, and then we start again. Okay, Madison says, I have a 5-month-old pup, and she knows how to wrap from both sides in some different angles. I want to change it up, but I also want to be successful. What are some things I should try with her at that age? I wouldn't do too many wraps with a 5-month-old dog. That's too young, in my opinion. You can do them a little bit, but try not to do them too much. What you need to do with a 5-month-old puppy is teach the dog to run. Lots of straight things, restraint recalls, chasing the toy, sending the dog to the toy, body awareness stuff, focus and attention games, those types of things, wraps and things like that. I mean, you can do a little bit, but it's really not that important right now. I would be focusing more on teaching the dog to run. C. Ellis says, how does one even get started with agility? Is it only for breeds like Aussies and Border Collies? Now that we have breeds, all kinds of different breeds in our classes. But I added not that long ago, and I think we have over 65 breeds in our classes. Yeah, it's really amazing. But do some internet research, see if there's a local agility club, or maybe there's a breed club.
All breeds love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great way to get started in it. Julia Short, how much do you break the course down in sequences before you put it? This is a good question. Before you put a full course together, and what is your criteria before you run the full course?
That's a fabulous question.
Yeah. Julia's come to the right live stream. That's exactly the kind of thing we're talking about today.
I don't really have a straight answer because it kind of depends on what I'm working on or what I'm preparing for. So I just came off of a really big competition where previous to last weekend, I was at a national championship. Previous to that weekend, I was working on, individual skills, and I was working on course running and that type of thing. Now that that's over, I'm just working on skill building and timing, and I like to do that in shorter sequences. I don't do a lot of full course running. So it depends what I'm working on. What was the other thing? Oh, you got rid of it.
I removed it. Stand by. I can you know what?
It's okay. I can remember. The other thing was
wait.
Oh, sorry. I don't remember what the other part was.
Let's go to try this.
Sorry.
How much do you break the course down in sequences before you put a full course together, and what is your criteria?
That's what it was. So my criteria before the run, that will also change. So I might start the course and be like, okay, I'm focusing only on running a clear round. So that means that I might let some wide turns go or some other things like that. I would never let them blow their contacts or miss weave entries or knock bars. I wouldn't do that. Sometimes I would allow knock bars if I needed to keep going, and that was part of my exercise. Or I would go through the next dog that I bring out. I've trained her to do a running dog walk, and she's my first border collie that I've trained to do running dog walk. The dogs I've trained before have all been small breeds to do running dog walks, and it's still fairly new for her. So I would go into a course with the intention of focusing on her dog walk skills because it's such a hard skill to work on, or I might focus on weave entries, and I would pre-plan ahead of time. Okay, if she does this right, I'm going to stop and reward. If she does this wrong, I'm going to stop and I'm going to work through that. So I generally have an idea about what I'm going to do before I start. However, if I'm going along and my dog does something miraculous, I will abort mission on the course and I'll stop and go crazy and make it a big deal for the dog. I'm always looking for excellence. So if my dog tries extra hard on something or she really digs in to respond, I'm not going to let those moments pass me by in training. I'm going to acknowledge that, whether I stop or whether I cheer or whatever it is. I like to let my dogs know those types of things.
So before we get into the next handling part, Linda Miller asks a question. This is something that you may have experienced this weekend. How do you handle long breaks at trials, 45 hours between runs? Mostly in the crate, hanging out with you, or walking outside?
Mostly in the crate.
Yeah.
I don't really get the people who walk their dogs and walk their dogs and walk their dogs and walk their dogs. Dogs need to mentally shut down. It's very mentally stimulating when you're at a competition, and depending on the dog. So my dog, when I'm at a trial, when she's not running, she's in her crate and she's being calm. And if I don't think that the environment around her is going to allow her to settle, then I might crate her in my car, or I might do something like that. Now, she's not a barker. She's very well behaved in her crate, but she'll sit and she'll be like this. Oh my God, there's dogs moving. She's just so excited. And if her mind is like that, spun for 3 hours before she has to run, that's going to affect her performance. So I'm careful about that. However, I do have a very specific routine warm up that I do that requires me, to walk the dogs. I'm not just going to rip her out of the crate and then run her. I do walk her and I open her up and I loosen her up, and I have all of these things that I do with my dogs. But in between the running, I want her to shut off so that she can be at her best when she comes out for her run.
Right. Patricia Denston says, I need to be trained in excitement. Hello.
Come to me, Patricia. I'll help you.
That is something that can make a big difference for a lot of dogs, how you're engaging with them. When you're genuinely excited, and whether that's with their recall or maybe it's even walking on a loose leash, but especially in something like agility, when you genuinely get excited about the results you're getting from your dog, they can tell. They're experts at reading these
Being
things.
A genuine trainer, it is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, do you want to move into the next section?
I do.
Yeah.
This is going to be exciting, everybody.
Yeah, I know. Is there a better angle for me? What are you going to do now?
Well, you need the dog walk, so you're really going to see whether she misses the contact or not.
Perfect, yeah. Okay, we're going to get up close and personal. with the next section of our live stream. See if I've got the shots ready. I do. Okay, so maybe talk a little bit about that pad as well.
Yeah, but can you say what it is?
For sure. So you can see, you guys will see in just a minute. Let's go over there. See that little pad on there? That's actually a running pad. It's like a marker, basically. Kayl's going to acknowledge when Purple hits that, because Purple's working on, I imagine, a running dog walk. I don't really know, because I haven't trained with these guys in a long, long time. But I'm assuming, oh, it's B. B's running dog walk. Okay. Yeah, I did know B had a running dog walk.
I've already done the first 2 sections. Now I'm going to do the last 2 sections.
Okay.
These are really hard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, things are about to get really interesting. So,
talk about what this is?
I did briefly. Well, I just mentioned that I might have to go to camera 2 because I can see a lot better. But let's head over to camera 2. And in lieu of tooting, let's just head over there. So that, you'll see that little pad down there is almost, it's like a marker.
It's actually, I can't find my actual one. My actual one's a bit bigger than this, but I can't find it. So this was just my, whatever I grabbed. So she has to touch this with one of her paws, and it's gonna happen really fast. Usually she hits it with her back feet, but I allow her to hit it with whatever foot she manages to get in there. So let me explain the next 2 challenges. One is, I'm going to come off the A-frame, kind of like what I just did with Purple a few minutes ago. We're going to come around to the dog walk. She's got to come off the dog walk, and she's got to take this blue jump and then flip away from me back into the tunnel. This is not something that I've yet trained with my dog, so I'm going to have to really break this down, and it's wonderful that it's right in front of you because you'll be able to see. After she takes the tunnel, she's got to go to the weave poles. And I don't know if you can see from here, but there's a pink jump that's right beside it. So there's a weave pole jump discrimination. Again, this is not something that my dog has seen, so I'm going to have to show her both of these things before we get started. So whenever I'm training her, I always warm up a few dog walks just to help her to be successful. So I'm going to start with that first to see how she does. Wait. Now, my dog's been trained, with the stop dog walk and a running dog walk. And on the weekend at the National Championships, I did use both, which was great. But I'm going to do the running tonight because it's more challenging for me, and it's good for you to see me work through it. Ready? Set, run, 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 run. Yes. Good girl.
Look at the enthusiasm of Beeline.
Wait, what's that?
Beeline's enthusiasm coming back.
She's crazy. Okay, I'm going to put her a little further back. Come on. Ready? Yes.
You guys are going to get an up front seat.
Run! Run!
So that
Run! That's good girl! That was good, little bee. That was real good, little bee. Good girl. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work on my left turn on this jump. Now I've trained my dogs to do directionals, especially with a running dog walk. There's no way in heck I'm going to be in here to direct her with my body, so I have to do it a bit more independently. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place her, in position that she's in line with the dog walk. And I'm just going to pre-place her toy out on the line that I want her to take so that it assists her. Now, Madison, earlier I believe asked a question about foundation. So one of the things that my dogs understand to do is she knows she's not allowed to get that toy unless she takes the jump. So that gives me the ability to put the toy in locations to help assist her to where to go, so she shouldn't go straight through. Now, she may screw up, I don't really know, but we'll see. Okay, left, 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 yes! Good girly, good girl, give me that toy. Okay, you do one more, okay, out. Wait, good girl. Wait, okay, left, 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 yes! Good girl! Yay! Oh, she's so good. Oh, she's so good. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Okay, out. All right, so now I'm going to add the down ramp with the dog walk. Apparently she knew that's what we were doing. You're so smart. You're so smart, little bee. Wait. Wait. Run. Left, 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 left. Oh, you little brat. I don't think so. Come here, try again. Wait, I know that's very hard, isn't it? Wait. Run. Left, 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 left. Yay! Good girl! Oh, she's a good dog. Good girl.
Good.
Hey.
Did you change anything to help her to be successful there?
Out. No.
No? I wondered.
And I'll tell you why I didn't. She knows that she's not allowed to get the toy. So if I call her off of the toy and I start again, because of the process of training, she typically wouldn't do it a second time. She would problem solve and say, okay, I wasn't allowed to do that, so maybe I should do this. And lucky for me, she's smart and she chose the jump. So if she was wrong again, I would absolutely have changed something to help her be successful. Okay, I felt like she was still questioning it, so I'm going to repeat the same thing one more time before I take her back. Okay, wait. So I'm going to put her toy in position. Wait. Okay, run. Left. Beautiful. Oh, you're so good.
Good.
Yes.
And so something Kayl did there. She wanted to Beeline to be crystal clear about what her expectations were. So she really didn't want to just get through the course or just get to the next sequence. She wanted to be absolutely certain that Bee did whatever she asked of her really well. And that's why you saw Kayl repeat that.
Okay, so now I'm going to try the whole thing. And this is hard, guys, because I have to watch a couple things. I have to watch that she maintains her criteria on the dog walk. Then I have to make sure that she's committed to the blue jump. Then before she takes the blue jump, I need to tell her which direction she's supposed to turn. Why I thought this was a good idea, I'm not too sure, but we'll really test my dog training skills now. Okay, I'm going to do the whole thing good. Okay, come on, go. Go, right. Yes, little Bee. Bee, run. Left. Yay! Oh my God, you're so smart. Oh, you're so smart. Yes! Good girl! I'm very impressed with that, actually. That was really good. Good girl. Okay. So I'll move on to the next thing, because I'm going to have to do this again in order to help her. So the next thing is that she's got to go to the weave poles instead of taking that pink jump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her at the end of the tunnel as if she'd just come out of it. So I take the speed element out of it, and I'm just going to let her get the weave pole entry out. And then we'll try from there. Good girl. Here, Bee, sit. She wants to go on the dog walk again. Wait. Put this up just a little harder. Wait. Sit. Wait. So, you can't probably see her. Can you see her? She's looking at the jump. So if I was to release her, she's probably going to take the jump. So I'm going to give her more cues to help her be successful. Wee. Okay, so I called that. So I'm going to put her closer. Wait. Wee. Yeah! Woo! Good girl. Good. Try to get out. Wait. No. Try again. Wait. Yes! Good girl! Go! Nice! Good girl.
So you're making it progressively harder, giving her progressively less information, and then asking her to choose.
And the reason why I'm doing this is I know when I come off of this jump around to the tunnel, I'm not going to be able to be up there to help her. She needs to do this on a verbal. So what I'm waiting for, why I was delaying there, is I was waiting for her to look at the weaves before I sent her to him. In a sit there, she's looking at the jump, looking at the weaves, looking at the jump, looking at the weaves. So I need to let her sort that out a little bit. So I can just do one more, because she almost has it here. Here, wait. Weave, whoops. So my bad, just before I released her, she looked at the jump and I didn't quite stop myself. Wait. Weave. Try again. Wait. So she's just been wrong twice. I can't let her continue being wrong. Yay! Good girl. I also don't want to make her do weave pulls a million times, so I just rewarded her for the entry there. Okay, out. Here. Wait. Weave. Good girl! Okay, she never looked at the jump that time, so now I'm going to see if I can add a bit more speed. Come here. You're doing so good, little Bee. This is hard stuff for a little girl. Are you ready? Wait. No, wait. So can you see that she's looking at the dog walk right now? Wait, yes! Mark. Yes. Yes. Mark. Mark. Tunnel. Wee. Oops. That was my fault. That was my fault because she's like, what can I do? What can I do? I stepped into her. Okay, wait. Sorry, I'll be better. Wait. 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 No. Wait. Mark. 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 Yes. Tunnel! Yay! Hooray! Okay. This section is very challenging. All right, little lady, you want to see if we can put it together? I think we can. I think we can. Okay, out. Here, let's start here. Wait. All right, here goes nothing. Tick, 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 tick. Run! 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 Yeah, go up. Run! 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 Left, 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 left. Tunnel! Tunnel! Beep, 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 beep. Yay! Oh my God, you're good. Oh my God, you're good.
Very nice.
Wow.
Good.
Thank God that happened under pressure.
Yeah, I know.
How was my dog walk though? I didn't really see
I
it.
couldn't tell. It looked high. We might have to ask these guys at home because it all happened so quickly. It's hard to tell.
I'm just gonna do one dog walk and then call quits.
Yeah.
Good girl, my love. Yes. Ready? I run. Hi, tick, 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 tick. Yes. Run. Run. Up. In. Oops, sorry. Sorry. Up. In. Yes. Run. Yeah.
That was good.
Beautiful. B, you're the best dog.
There's a couple things I'd like to talk about a little bit. Specifically, breaking down that weave pole so that you didn't run her through the weave pole several times. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's head over
Running dog walks are
to the
insane.
after hours agility. So a couple of interesting things happened there that you were working on. The one
That was
time
really fun.
you did step on her line and push her out, but then you helped her to get the weave pole entry and you rewarded immediately after. Now some people might be comfortable with doing that and some people certainly not. So talk about why you did that.
Okay, let's see if I can get
I think so too, Sandy. I think she might have missed it the first time.
yeah, I think she got the top of it. I don't think she got the matte. I think she might have got the yellow.
Yeah.
But I wanted her to go lower. Okay, what did you ask me? I'm sorry, I'm tired.
You broke down the weave poles rather than insisting that she finish.
Right. Yeah.
You rewarded.
When my dog is correct, I say the word yes. That means that she's right, and I want her to continue weaving. So other people train yes a little bit differently. So they sometimes might say yes, and then the dog could stop or stop working. I don't want my dog to do that. When she hears the word yes, I want her to continue. So if she enters the weaves and she hears yes, that means that she's right and she's going to power through for a reward. If I just say get it, she's allowed to stop whatever she's doing and get the reward. And so what I can do is I can reward her for great entries without making her have to weave 12 poles all of the time. You do have to be extremely careful if you do this though, because you're playing with fire a little bit. If you say yes and sometimes let them have the toy, let them stop weaving, and other times you say yes and you expect them to continue weaving, that's very difficult. So I don't do it very often, but if I'm training something difficult like this, I'm not going to make her weave that many times. I'm going to alternate a little bit so that I save her energy and body.
Yeah. So Stephanie L says, what's the best way to train your dog to not to go directly to the pre-placed reward?
We teach a exercise that we call body barrier, where we teach our dogs that they're not allowed to cross our body line until they're released to the toy.
Can you show that?
Yeah, I can show that.
Quickly? I think that's a good one to
Okay,
show.
here.
And we'll go over to camera 2. I need some sort of fun sound because I have the train whistle when we head over to the train station. Now I need a fun agility sound. So this is the body barrier.
So I might start off by leaving my dog in a wait, putting the reward right up front. This is really, anybody can do this. Even if your dog doesn't know agility yet, this is something you can start off with. So I would open up the path to the reward and I would step back. Okay, get it. Good girl, and I can send her to it. That's the easy part, okay? Then what I can start to do is teach her that she's not allowed to go to the toy unless she follows my handling. So out, here, sit. You're tired, baby. Let you wait. I'm going to put the toy out, but this time I'm going to stand in the middle of the toy, so you probably can't see the dog now. If I look on this side, she needs to run on that side. If I look at this side, she needs to look at this side. Ready, B? Said, okay, yes, good girl, and then I can let her have the toy from there. Okay, I should have said get it there, out. I'm distracted by how tired she is. I'm just going to do one more, and then maybe I can use purple. Okay. She's very tired right now. Sit. Okay, I'm going to do a little harder. I'm going to put the toy over here, okay? But I'm going to look over here. And I want her to come to my side before cutting behind my back to go for the toy. So I'm going to connect with her here. Okay. Fair enough. Good girl. Good girl. Sit. Sit. Wait. She says, I'm an agility dog. I need to take my equipment. Okay. Yes, get it. Good girl. Then I can tell her get it to get the toy from there. Good girl. That was a pretty extreme progression. So if you're doing this and you've never done it before, you need to move the toy a little bit more slowly. And if you have a dog that's just ignoring you and going behind your back, you need to make sure you have some obedience skills like leave it or response to name. You might have a second toy in your body that you can reward your dog with for coming to you instead of going to the toy. But I would start to work on that. And then I would transfer it to a jump, for example, or a wing. So there's my wing, out, out, here, sit, sit, wait. Here's my toy, wait. Okay, go, dig, 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 yes, get it, good girl. And I can start to send her around things to go and get her toy from there, and then it transfers really easy to the obstacles.
Awesome. I've seen a couple other great agility questions. Now's the time to drop your agility question in the chat. I just suggested that a gamble buzzer. I just suggested that we have a noise that we make before we head over to the training thing, and Shandy says a gamble buzzer. Maria Miller says a tin penny whistle. I mean, maybe that would work.
I don't even know what that is.
I would just like to, I don't really know either, but it sounds like fun.
Mom, will you call her and see if
a tin penny whistle sounds like a lot of fun. Or maybe it is a train whistle. I don't know. Sounds cool, whatever it is. There's a couple great agility questions. Now's the time to ask your question. Shandy Blake asks.
Just bring water, maybe. Okay.
Shandy Blake says, "What's the best way to make sure your dog knows the skill versus patterning? I have one dog that patterns very easily."
Practice a lot of like this or that exercises. So practice exercises that are similar to each other and alternate them so that your dog can't anticipate what you're doing. Sometimes a little anticipation is helpful though, because it will help the dog to learn the exercise. But if you sense that your dog is patterning something, you need to switch it up. If you have a dog that patterns easily, then you need to like do something and then switch sides. Do the same exercise, but do it on your left side versus your right side. Go a different direction. Just kind of switch things up that direction, because that way, because a lot of dogs will pattern very easily. You will know that they know the skill by making a small progression and seeing if the dog understands it. If they do, you will go through the progressions very quickly. If they're just patterning it and they're happening to do it by accident, that will show up very easily as you start to make changes.
Crystal the Animal Lover asks, better to use toys than treats or both?
It doesn't always matter, but
it's nice to be able to reward your dog at a distance. It is. It's a benefit if your dog will use toys in agility, for sure. Yeah.
And I hate to say that because not all dogs love toys, and you can train your dog to love toys, but if they really do love food, there's alternate options that you can use to help get the food off of your body. What you don't want to do to have a great agility dog is feed from your hand all of the time, because it just teaches too much handler focus, and it doesn't teach them to do things independently. So you could put food in a treat ball and you could throw it. You could put it in a manners minder or a remote treat dispenser. Yeah. You could do that, but ideally, I use a combo of a toy and food. But when my dogs are young, I use quite a bit of food and quite a bit of toy. Nowadays, I would say I would use 95% toy and 5% food. Yeah. But my dog loves a toy, so that's why. Yeah, it's also really easy to reward away from your body. I mean, there's just so many benefits to using a toy, but food is a possibility. Yep. Chris,
Eubanks asks, do you do any distance agility, running the course without running with your dog? And actually, that is one of the classes, Chris, or it can be if there's a distance gamble.
We do that a lot. You know, if you run a fast dog, distance training, independent obstacle performance is absolutely a necessity. You know, you can train distance work so that your dog can compete in courses like Gamblers and things like that. But even for every course, teaching your dog to be able to work at a distance is extremely beneficial. And so you want to have a good balance between what we call obstacle focus and handler focus. So I want the ability to send my dog out to obstacles if I wish to do that. And I want the ability to bring her into me bypass the obstacles if I want that as well. So, and some dogs are more prone to being one or the other. So in your training, you need to be very aware of that, and you need to strengthen whatever side you see is weaker at the time. My preference of an agility dog is a dog that is about 70% obstacle focus and 40% handler focus.
Yeah.
That's too low. I would say 80-20 for me. Not everybody's like that though, but I like that because I like to run and I can handle and I can get ahead. I want my dog to go and do things by herself, but if I ask her to pay attention to me, I expect her to do that.
Norman Hooper says, good day, g'day, and g'day from Australia. How was that for an accent?
Maybe it was okay. I'm not too sure.
Mick Dundee. I apologize, Norman. Thanks for joining us all the way from Australia. Sandy Hanlon asks, do you teach the running and the stop dog walk simultaneously?
Yes.
Is there any reason why you might do that?
Yes, because it's less confusing.
Okay.
I believe it's less confusing because you're not strengthening one thing and then all of a sudden being like, oh, I'm changing it on you and we're doing something different. So she learned to target as a puppy on planks and with a nose target. And then I switched, put it to the dog walk when I could. She had, months and months and months of foundation training on how to hit that mat at full speed. But she learned both at the same time.
All right. Erica Brock Lalo asks, when you teach verbals, dig, backsides, etc., do you introduce the verbal immediately or shape it, then add the verbal? That's a good question.
I shape it and then add the verbal. So whenever I add the verbal to something, I teach the dog the skill first and then I name it. And I do that for all of the verbals, even including obstacles. So I would never, the first time my dog goes across a teeter-totter plank, I would never call it teeter. My first time that my dog sees a channel of weeples, I wouldn't say weave. I don't start to add the command that I'm going to use until the dog has a good understanding of the behavior, because I don't want her to learn to hear the word and before she really understands the behavior, so that she doesn't hear the word and then gives me 5 different possibilities of options as she's learning. So I delay, not just with verbals like directionals and things like that you're suggesting. I literally do it with everything.
Well, and this sort of lends itself to some of our obedience training where we focus on motivation. We want the most out of our dog. So we don't want to condition. And understanding, for sure. We don't want to condition our dog to give a half-hearted attempt at something. We really want to build confidence and speed and then start to make it more challenging. Julia Short says, when working weave entry discrimination, would you take away all but the first few poles until you get a solid entry to save them from going all 12 poles a lot?
I mean, you can do that. My alternate is I do that reward thing. I could do that. Or the other thing that I was going to do if she was having more trouble is I would have removed the pink jump. Like I would have moved the pink jump further away from where it was so that it wasn't as distracting for her. And then I would start to move it in closer. You can work on less poles, but there's other options as well. That's not wrong to do that. And I don't ever do that, but if you did, it would be okay. That's not something I do with my dogs.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, like you can reward after third pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll do that often now.
Mm-hmm.
Patricia Denston says, I really need to work on my enthusiasm. I have a 21-month-old boxer who's amazing, but he lacks drive. He runs most courses perfectly, but without speed. So let's talk about that for a moment and some of the mistakes that Patricia might be making that might lead to these, an unmotivated agility dog.
Yeah, this could be like an entire live stream.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple things you need to be careful that you're not rewarding the dog for being unmotivated.
Yeah.
Sometimes we end up cheering the dog to try to get them to go faster, but what we're actually doing is rewarding them. Not that we need to get angry with them or anything, but some dogs or some people are like, good girl, let's go, good girl, good girl, good girl. And if you're saying, you know, good girl, and they're like trotting along, we're not really being a good girl. Or you need to determine, why are they doing that?
Right,
Are they unsure? Are they lacking confidence? Are they just not really that into it? Why are they not that into it? Are they confused? Are they disinterested? Are you being boring? Do you not have a good enough reward? There's literally hundreds of reasons why the dog could be lacking drive. So you need to find the root of the problem, and that will help you.
First things first, stop trialing. You know, take your dog into the training scenario so that you can start to break down what might be happening for you guys, and really work on motivation.
Do easy sequences.
Short, successful sequences that are fun and fast.
Yeah, I was just literally about to say the same thing, which is great because
we're going to say it fun and fast because I said it kind of weird.
I wasn't going to say it just like that. You know what we should have Ken run Beeline. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Wanna?
No.
No.
I haven't slept in 36 hours.
He didn't even hesitate. What I was going to say is right now, like, really technical handling is all the rage, and I find a lot of people that come into me for lessons are sort of like, you know, look what I can do, and they're doing all these backsides and all these wraps and all these crazy things, and their dog is like literally walking. And, you know, to me, I work on attitude first. It's, you know, I work on attitude. I don't want to do all this fancy stuff and my dog's doing it, you know, at 50%. I want to build drive and motivation and fun and that type of thing. So, you know, that's what you need to focus on first with the dogs that are lacking motivation. Do easy stuff, straight lines, speed circles. Teach the dog to open up and run and enjoy themselves, and then start to add little technical things in little bits at a time.
So I see some people are saying, yes,
come on, Ken, run.
So if we get 10 people that say they want to see me run, then I will run. But until then, it's just not going to happen.
You know this is going to happen.
Well, we'll see how invested you guys are in seeing me run. You know, I've gotten much older and slower than I've ever been. Even
he
yesterday.
Hasn't run a dog in how long? Like a year?
Agility?
2
Quite
years?
some time, yeah. I've never run Beeline.
No.
Yeah.
Beeline's never run for anybody else other than me before in their lifetime.
Right, yeah. So it would be interesting to see, and maybe not that good, but it's up to you. So if you guys can drop, if there's 10, there's 3. Might be a better problem.
This is good too.
There. Okay. Oh yeah. So Shandy, yeah, that's a good point, Shandy. Shandy mentions Kayl's a great video talking about how she motivated Funky Monkey, who is amazing. Yeah, talk about Funky just for a moment.
Yeah, so I used to run a dog named Funky Monkey. I just retired her this year, actually, at 11 years old, and was a fabulous dog. And people in the last, 8 years, I think Ken's going to have to run. Yeah. In the last 8 years or so, she's been a fabulous agility dog, but my first couple of years were very difficult. She, didn't lack motivation, but she lacked confidence, and she hated to be wrong. And if she was wrong, she'd be a little bit unsure, and she'd be slow, and she wasn't really sure what to do. So we made a really cool video about her story and kind of what I did to kind of work through it. And I had a lot of troubles when she was younger, but it taught me so much about dealing with that type of dog. And I've been able to help so many other people with dogs similar to her because of my experience with her. And she went on to be one of the fastest dogs in her height for years.
Yeah.
Really cool.
And I'm not sure how we would get that video if Dan could find that video. Funky Monkey, you might search Funky Monkey.
Something Meet Funky Monkey.
Yeah, or something like that. Okay, well, you guys have spoken, unfortunately. It looks like I'm going to have to run B.
Oh my God, there's way more than 10. What are you going to do?
There's 9. You're going to have to run the camera.
Okay. Why don't you just do something easy?
Why don't I do, you're going to have to run the camera here, though.
I will.
What about...
Why don't you do a wrap on the yellow jump?
This one?
No, the far one. And then do the sequence I did, but have her do a stop dog walk. Or do the weave pulls.
Dog walk, blue, wrap blue, tunnel, weave?
No, don't do that. That's too hard.
Or is it?
Do jump, frame, pink jump, back side of the red, jump it towards the dog walk. Okay. And then do a running dog walk. It's fun. It's exciting. And then I'll put the toy out for her.
I'll reward B. at the end of.
Oh, little B, this is exciting. Okay,
I've never run beeline before.
What video? Did you go to this one?
Not yet. Oh, let's go there. Okay. Well, if something horrible happens, it's been a lot of fun, guys, and I've enjoyed every moment.
She's the only dog that I have, so you can't break her.
I'm the only husband that you have, so I can't get broken either.
The dog is the most important thing here.
Okay, going over to camera 2.
Okay, let me tell you her commands.
Okay.
Give me this. Run.
Frame.
Yep. Jump.
Pink.
Moo, moo, moo.
Yep.
For the pink.
Red.
That's red. And then when you say, don't say walk it, just say run, 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 run.
Okay. And then reward.
And then reward.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna reward.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Jumping blue this way.
Yep.
B, get in. Beeline. Come on, buddy. Come on.
Okay, you're gonna have to take this.
Okay. Here, B.
You're gonna have to throw the toy.
Sit. Get in. Sit.
No, this is. Guys, I'm so nervous.
Okay. Are you in a wide enough shot?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm the dog trainer, not the camera person.
Ready? RUN for the A-frame?
Frame, run, run, run.
Over. Frame.
Moo, moo, moo.
Run, 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 run! Run, 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 run!
Yay! Good girl. I think she got it.
I think I got like leg cramps halfway. I ran for probably 15
Oh my God,
seconds.
you did 7 obstacles.
I know, and I got leg cramps on the way. There we go.
I feel like I'm gonna have to do it again just to make sure she did it right.
Yeah, you probably should. That's not a bad idea. So let's now see the difference between 21-time world champion and the live stream producer.
No, she wasn't. That was good though. I'm glad she did it. If I ever get hurt,
Kayl,
you're gonna have to run her at a competition.
We've actually done that before.
Yeah,
not beeline, but
you won the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I'm just gonna do a dog walk. Wait. Do a toy. Leave it here. B. Good. Hey. B. Come on. B. Come on. Run! Run! Yeah. Nope.
Good. So Kayl caught the fact that she'd missed her target or missed her contact.
Run! Yes. Good girl. Come here. One more time. Out. She actually did get the contact, but she didn't touch the mat.
Oh, yeah.
Here, off. Good. Okay, one more. This is it. Ready? Set, jump. Run! Run!
Oh.
Lie down.
Wow.
That's terrible. Lie down.
Miss B.
Oh my. Ken wrecked my dog, everyone.
Yeah, that didn't take very long.
Okay, make it easy. Ready? Here. You're tired her up. Wait. Okay. Run. Yes, good girl. Good girl. We'll take it.
Yeah.
My dog's hot.
Okay, what do you guys think? Oh, see, now I'm gonna go to these. A lot of people are saying
You're a good girl.
really great things. Crystal the animal, I say Ken did great. That's the only person that said that. But you know what? I had fun.
So funny.
It was fun. You can clearly see why Kayl is the main handler and
Ken is the main
agility dog
camera
expert.
operator.
Now, with that said, I want to thank you guys for watching. This was a bit of an unusual agility live stream. We'd love to know what you guys would like to see from all of our agility fans, because we have a bit of a divided audience. Almost 95% of our videos are for you guys who are training your puppy or your young dog to be more successful, to be a well-behaved four-legged family member, to listen, to come when they're called, all of those great things. But we'd also like to do, for our sake, because it's fun, some agility. And on weeks where we don't show up in the train station, when we don't show up in the train station, we're here in the after hours agility, because we have this beautiful facility year round, which is pretty exciting that we can come here and train. So I see, see Norman Hooper. I like where his head is at.
you guys compete against each other.
So that used to happen back in the day.
That did, yes. But, except I would just give him all of the dogs that I trained, so I feel like it's not fair.
Yeah.
But then he trained a dog, and then I stole it.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
Because he was getting really good, and I was like, I think I should have that dog.
All 4 paws. I'm excited because I'm getting a puppy in 4 weeks. Congratulations. There are tons of videos on the channel that'll be super, super helpful. I want to say Patricia Denston, my old boxer, does 2-on 2-off in class perfectly, but in trials he does them 60% of the time. He started training a running contact. Do you think that would be confusing for him?
It wouldn't be confusing if you trained it from the beginning properly, but I will tell you that teaching a running contact is running dog walk contact is like a full-time job. So unless you have somebody around you that knows how to do it and that could coach you on a weekly basis, you need access to a dog walk multiple times a week in order to do it successfully. So I would just maybe revisit the 2-on-2-off and figure out how you can make it a little bit more reliable in trials. Probably what's happening is you're being more gray in your criteria at trials and moving on to the next obstacle when the dog isn't doing it properly. And then they learn that they don't have to in trials, whereas in practice, you would fix them and make them do it properly. So you just try to be a bit more consistent. It's one of the hardest things for sure.
So let us know if you're watching this in the replay, then let us know what you'd like to see us doing for some of our agility training videos. I see Madison Winter says, do we do train contacts? And we have done some contacts training.
Oh, thanks, Dan just shared it.
Dan the man dropping the links. And let's go. We want to thank our very special moderator. Let's see if we can see him over here. Go over to camera 2. I want to thank Dan the man. There. There's Dan.
You pinching me?
Crushing your head. Crush. But thank you, Dan, for all of your help. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We publish new videos every single week to help you to have a well-behaved, four-legged family member. I'm going to stay in the chat.
Ken has a glow now. Thanks for humoring us.
I'm turning red. I'll stay in the chat for a couple more minutes. We are going to shut the stream down, but I want to thank you for joining us. And on that note, I'm Ken.
I'm Kayl.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Happy training. Bye for now.